What is the very first thing you touch when you awaken? If your answer is your cell phone, you are certainly not alone in this modern ritual. But what if I told you that this seemingly innocuous act, this simple reach to a screen, might be the very motion through which you surrender the victory of your day before you even leave your bed? Consider the energetic shift that occurs in that instant. You are moving from a state of rest, of potential, of connection to the quiet stillness of your inner world, directly into a vortex of external demands, notifications, and the curated anxieties of the world. This single gesture, performed unconsciously by millions every single morning, is a silent declaration. It unknowingly tells the universe that the priorities of others are more important than your own peace, that the problems of the world must be addressed before your own purpose is established. It is a subtle but profound act of giving away your power. This habit of reaching for the phone first is more than just a bad habit. It is a spiritual vulnerability. In those first precious, lucid moments of consciousness, your mind is at its most receptive, your spirit most open. By flooding it with the digital noise of social media feeds, urgent emails, and breaking news, you are allowing the frequency of the world to set the tone for your entire day. You are inviting chaos to be the architect of your morning, building a foundation of reaction rather than intention. You begin your day not as a creator, not as a sovereign being guided by a divine purpose, but as a firefighter, immediately extinguishing the blazes that others have set. This constant state of reactivity is the source of that pervasive feeling of being perpetually behind, of running a race you never consciously chose to enter, leaving you drained and disconnected from your true source of strength before you've even had a chance to connect with it. Great thinkers like Napoleon Hill taught with profound clarity about the critical importance of commanding your mind from the very first moment of consciousness. They understood that the first thought of the day acts as a rudder for the ship of your soul, steering your experiences and perceptions. Today, we will take this powerful principle of mental command and elevate it to its highest spiritual application. I'm going to reveal to you the one single thing you must do the instant you open your eyes, a sacred practice divided into 3 simple yet transformative steps designed to shift your day from a battle for survival into a guaranteed journey of victory. And it is the 3rd step, the final piece of this morning ritual, that holds the key to unlocking everything. It is the action that changes the very fabric of your reality and aligns you with divine power. Imagine the sensation of it. The alarm shatters the peace of your slumber, and before your consciousness has even fully returned to your body, a wave of pressure washes over you. It's an immediate feeling of being late, a sense that you are already behind on a day that has barely begun. It's a weight on your chest, a tightness in your stomach that arrives even before you can name the source of the anxiety. This feeling is the signature of a life lived in reaction. It is the emotional echo of 1,000 mornings started by absorbing the world's emergencies instead of grounding yourself in your own serene power. Do you recognize this feeling? It is the quiet despair of knowing that your day has been claimed by external forces before you've had a chance to claim it for yourself, for your peace, for your purpose. You know that silent internal monologue, don't you? The one that begins the moment you see the number of notifications on your screen. The mental checklist of problems to solve, people to please, and expectations to meet starts scrolling relentlessly, a torrent of obligations. It's that quiet, insidious thought that whispers, you are not enough. There is not enough time. You will not get it all done. This inner voice is not yours. It is the voice of the world's frantic pace, a voice you have inadvertently invited into the sacred space of your mind as your first morning guest. It immediately frames your day not in terms of opportunity and divine potential, but in terms of deficits and demands, setting you on a path of relentless striving from a position of perceived lack. Think about the physical toll this takes. Your shoulders tense up as you read a stressful work email while still lying in bed. Your heart rate quickens as you scroll past a heated debate on social media. Your breath becomes shallow as your mind races to formulate a response to an unexpected request. You are engaging in a battle before you have even put on your armor. Is it any wonder that you often feel exhausted by midday, that your creative energy feels depleted, and your patience wears thin? You are starting your spiritual and emotional engine on fumes, using your precious initial energy reserves to navigate a digital minefield instead of cultivating a garden of inner peace from which all true strength and abundance grow. And what about the spiritual disconnection? Do you remember those moments of pure intention, perhaps the night before, when you resolved to start the day with prayer, with meditation, with a moment of quiet reflection? Yet, the magnetic pull of the screen, the addiction to what's happening, hijacks that noble intention. A promise to yourself is broken within seconds of waking. This creates a subtle but persistent sense of spiritual misalignment, a feeling of letting yourself and your higher purpose down. It's the deep, nagging ache of knowing you were created for a life of profound connection and purpose, yet you are allowing the most trivial of distractions to steal the most pivotal moment of your day, the moment of first connection. Consider the opportunities that are lost in these first few minutes. The morning holds a unique divine frequency, a stillness where clarity can be found, where guidance can be heard, and where the day's true purpose can be received. When you turn to your phone, you are essentially telling the divine source, "Please hold. I have more important calls to take." You trade a potential download of heavenly wisdom for an upload of worldly worry. Have you ever felt that you are just going through the motions, completing tasks without a real sense of why you are doing them? This is the inevitable result of sacrificing your morning connection. You are navigating without your true compass, guided only by the loud, conflicting maps provided by the world around you. This pattern perpetuates a cycle of frustration. You work harder, you try to manage your time better, you read books on productivity, yet you still end the day feeling unfulfilled, as if you've been busy but not productive in what truly matters to your soul. Does this resonate with you? The feeling of spinning your wheels, of pouring immense effort into a life that feels like it's not truly your own. The frustration comes from a simple, overlooked truth. You cannot solve an internal, spiritual problem with external, logical solutions. The issue is not your time management, it's your source management. You are drawing your energy and direction from a polluted well, and then wondering why you feel spiritually sick and tired. Let's be honest, it feels like you're losing a battle you didn't even know you were fighting. It's a subtle defeat that happens in the quiet of your bedroom every morning. You lose your peace. You lose your focus, you lose your sense of sovereign control over your own inner state. It's that hollow feeling when you finally get out of bed, already feeling drained, and think to yourself, here we go again. This isn't the life of victory, abundance, and purpose you were destined to live. This is survival mode. And deep in your soul, you know you were made for so much more than just surviving the day. You were made to command it, to shape it, to fill it with grace and power. Finally, ask yourself this: who is truly in control of your mornings? Is it you in conscious alignment with your Creator, or is it the algorithm, the inbox, and the endless scroll of other people's lives and priorities? The feeling of being out of control, of being a passenger in your own life, begins with this first unconscious choice. It is the root of the anxiety, the overwhelm, and the spiritual fatigue. But the beautiful truth is that the power to change this, the power to take back control and start your day from a place of unshakable peace and authority, lies in the very same moment. It lies in the first few seconds after you open your eyes. And recognizing this is the first step toward reclaiming your victory. For generations, we have been taught a single gospel of success, the gospel of hustle. We are told that victory is found at the end of a long, arduous road of relentless effort, strategic planning, and sheer force of will. The world screams that to have more, you must do more. Wake up earlier, work longer, push harder. This philosophy has its own merits and has built empires, but it is a wisdom that is fundamentally incomplete, for it is built entirely on the foundation of human strength. It places the entire burden of creation and success squarely upon your shoulders. This path of effort is a path of friction and resistance. It is like trying to row a boat against a powerful current. You may make progress, you may even be strong enough to reach a destination, but the journey will inevitably leave you exhausted, depleted, and always fearing that the moment you stop rowing, you will be swept back downstream. The common knowledge about building a successful day is no different. It revolves around optimized to-do lists, productivity hacks, and disciplined time management. These are the tools of the world, designed to manage the external. They teach you how to organize the chaos, but they do not teach you how to transcend it. They are focused on managing your actions from the moment your feet hit the floor, but they completely ignore the state of your spirit from the moment your eyes open. Herein lies the subtle deception. You are being taught to fight the battle of your day with weapons that can only address the symptoms of a deeper spiritual misalignment. The true battle is not in your schedule, it is in your consciousness. It is not about managing your time, it is about managing your source of power. This is where we must draw a clear distinction between the path of effort and the path of alignment. The path of alignment does not disregard action or discipline, but it understands that effective action is the result of a correct inner state, not the cause of it. It is the art of first connecting to the infinite current of divine power and then allowing that current to carry you forward. It's the difference between rowing against the river and raising a sail to catch the wind. The effort required is one of surrender, of connection, of listening before speaking, of receiving before doing. What if the secret to a victorious day isn't about adding more to your morning routine, but about performing one single sacred act of alignment that makes everything else fall into its divinely ordained place. This is the secret we are here to unlock. So, what is this one singular act that redefines the dawn of your day? It is not a complex, multi-step routine that requires immense discipline. It is not a secret mantra passed down through esoteric mystery schools. The truth in its most profound form is always simple, accessible, and waiting to be seen. The key we are about to turn was hinted at by thinkers like Hill, who understood that the first conscious thought is a command that sets the frequency for your reality. But its ultimate truth, its deepest power, has been enshrined for millennia within sacred texts, waiting for hearts ready to understand. We find its essence not in a book about mindset, but in the timeless wisdom of the Psalms and the Proverbs. It is an act of spiritual technology, a divine protocol for beginning your day, not in your own limited power, but in the infinite, all-sufficient power of God. The secret lies in a single decisive action, the conscious and deliberate act of giving God your first thought. Before your mind has a chance to default to its well-worn paths of worry, planning, or digital distraction, you must intentionally intercept that first moment of consciousness and offer it as a sacred gift to your Creator. Think of this not as a task, but as an offering, a holy sacrament performed in the quiet sanctuary of your mind the instant you transition from the world of sleep to the world of wakefulness. This act is the master key that unlocks the principles of both faith and focused intention. It is the point where the wisdom of the world, which tells you to command your mind, bows to the divine truth, which invites you to surrender your mind to a higher power, and in doing so, receive a power far greater than your own. This is the point of pivot. This is the moment where you cease to be a victim of your morning and become the co-creator of it, alongside the divine. By performing this single act, you are making a profound declaration. You are stating that your connection to God is your absolute priority, more important than any email, any news alert, or any personal anxiety. You are fundamentally reorienting your entire being, turning your inner compass away from the magnetic pull of the world's chaos and pointing it directly toward the true north of God's presence and peace. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. Victory over your day is not won in the battlefield of your circumstances, but in the first sacred second of your consciousness. And now, we will decode the 3 simple steps to perform this holy act. We begin with the first step, the foundational act that sets the stage for everything that follows. It is the simplest, yet most profound shift you can make. The central affirmation for this first moment is this: before any thought of worry, obligation, or anxiety is allowed to form in your mind, you must consciously and deliberately anchor your awareness in a single powerful word: thank you. This is not a polite afterthought. It is a preemptive strike against the forces of negativity and lack that lie in wait for your consciousness to emerge. It is the act of seizing the sacred ground of your mind for gratitude before any other seed can be planted there. This single word, uttered in the stillness of your dawn, becomes the keynote for your entire day, tuning your soul to the frequency of grace and abundance from the very outset. This practice is a direct activation of a divine principle. It is you choosing to consciously inhabit the truth of Psalm 118, verse 24. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Notice the structure of this verse. It is not a suggestion. It is a declaration followed by a choice. The psalmist first declares a fact. This day is a divine creation, a gift. Then, based on that fact, he makes a choice to rejoice and be glad. When you whisper, "Thank you," you are doing the exact same thing. You are acknowledging that the very day in front of you, with all its unknown potential, is a gift. You are agreeing with God that this day is good, setting aside your own potential judgments and anxieties in favor of His sovereign truth about the gift you have just received. The power of this initial act of gratitude cannot be overstated. It fundamentally changes your point of focus. The default human mindset, especially upon waking, is to immediately scan for problems. What do I have to do? What went wrong yesterday? What challenges await me today? This is a mindset of scarcity and deficit. The word "thank you" acts as a circuit breaker. It instantly interrupts that negative pattern and forces your mind to scan for blessings instead. It shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present, from the burdens you must carry to the grace you have already been given. It is a declaration that you are beginning your day from a position of fullness, not emptiness, acknowledging that you are already blessed beyond measure simply by being granted another day of life. This gratitude must be felt, not just spoken. It is the conscious recognition of the miracle of your own existence. Thank you for the breath that is filling your lungs, without any conscious effort from you. Thank you for the heart that has been beating faithfully all through the night, a silent drum of life. Thank you for the shelter over your head, for the warmth of your bed, for the very consciousness that allows you to experience this moment. By anchoring in these fundamental, often overlooked gifts, you ground yourself in a reality of profound abundance. You remind your soul that you are cared for, sustained, and provided for at the most elemental level. This foundation of gratitude makes the anxieties of the day seem incredibly small in comparison to the immense blessings you are already experiencing. Let us paint a vivid picture of this in practice. The alarm clock rings, its sound designed to jolt you into a state of alert. Your mind, conditioned by years of habit, immediately wants to leap forward into the future, to grab hold of the day's to-do list, that tense meeting scheduled for 10 a.m., or the unpaid bills on the counter. It wants to start the engine of worry immediately, but right there in that split second you intervene. Before your eyes are even fully open, before you make a single move, your first conscious act is to form the words, silently, or in a whisper, thank you. You stop the runaway train of anxiety before it has even left the station. You claim that first moment for God. Imagine the change in the atmosphere of your inner world. The jarring, stressful energy of the alarm is instantly neutralized and replaced by a gentle wave of peace. It is like changing the station from a chaotic news report to a serene piece of classical music. The entire emotional and spiritual tone of the moment is transformed. By saying thank you for the breath in your lungs, you are honoring the life force within you. By saying thank you for the new day, you are accepting it as a pristine gift, not as a field of battle. This simple act recalibrates your entire nervous system, signaling to your body and soul that your starting position is one of peace, safety, and appreciation, not one of stress, danger, and deficit. This is not a one-time thought, but a deliberate lingering. Allow the feeling of gratitude to wash over you. Don't rush the moment. Feel the truth of it. Feel the sincerity of your thanks for the simple, profound gift of being alive. This conscious choice sends a ripple effect through your entire day. When you start from a place of gratitude, you are more resilient to challenges. You are more likely to see solutions instead of problems. You are more attuned to the beauty and blessings that will unfold in the hours ahead. You have effectively set your emotional and spiritual GPS to a destination of joy and abundance, and every subsequent thought and action will naturally try to align with that initial powerful setting. It is the ultimate life hack, but it is a sacred one. Now let us make this profoundly practical. The direct application is a question you must bring into your awareness. As you prepare for sleep tonight, I want you to ask yourself, for what, specifically, will I thank God in the very first second of tomorrow? Don't leave it to chance. Decide tonight. Perhaps you will thank Him for the feeling of the blankets that keep you warm. Perhaps you will thank Him for the gift of your family sleeping safely in the next room. Perhaps you will thank Him for the opportunity that a new day represents. A clean slate, a chance to love, a chance to grow, a chance to serve your purpose. By pre-paving your gratitude, you are preparing your mind for this new habit. You are making a conscious appointment with God for the very first moment of your day. This intentionality is crucial. It's about moving from an unconscious habit of reaching for your phone to a conscious ritual of reaching for your Creator. What specific gift, big or small, has been present in your life that you have overlooked? It could be the gift of health, the gift of a friendship, or simply the gift of peace in your home. Choose one, just one, and decide that this will be the subject of your first thought. This practice trains your mind to seek the good. It is a form of mental reprogramming, but it is also a spiritual discipline. You are teaching your soul to open its eyes and immediately see the hand of God, rather than the demands of the world. So what will it be for you tomorrow? Will you thank Him for your physical senses, the ability to see the morning light, to hear the birds, to taste your first cup of coffee? Will you thank Him for the strength in your body, or the clarity in your mind? Choose your anchor of gratitude now, and you will have a powerful tool waiting for you, ready to transform the first moments of your day from chaos into a holy communion. Now we move to the second, crucial step in this sacred morning ritual. Once you have firmly anchored your consciousness in gratitude, the next affirmation is this. You must immediately transform that feeling of thankfulness into a verbal declaration of complete dependence on God. This step is about humility and the transference of burdens. It is the conscious act of acknowledging your own limitations and invoking His unlimited power. After saying thank you, you immediately follow with a statement of trust and reliance. This moves you from a passive state of appreciation into an active state of surrender, positioning you not as the struggling hero of your day, but as a willing partner with an all-powerful guide. This principle is drawn directly from the deep well of wisdom in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. This is not a suggestion for a life of passivity. It is a divine strategy for supernatural effectiveness. To lean not on your own understanding is to admit that your perspective is limited, that you cannot see all the variables, and that your own strength is finite. Declaring your dependence is the ultimate act of faith. It is you handing the reins of your day over to the one who holds the master plan, trusting that his wisdom and strength are infinitely greater than your own. Think of the immense freedom that comes from this declaration, the weight of the world, the pressure to have all the answers, to solve every problem, to control every outcome. It is not yours to carry. When you declare your dependence on God, you are consciously offloading these impossibly heavy burdens. You are admitting, God, I cannot do this day on my own. I do not have the wisdom for that difficult conversation. I do not have the strength for that demanding project. I do not have the patience for the challenges that will arise, but you do, and I am relying entirely on you. This is the moment where striving ceases and grace begins. This is a profound act of spiritual alignment. It acknowledges the divine order of things. He is the vine, we are the branches. A branch does not struggle to produce fruit. It simply remains connected to the vine, and the life-giving sap flows naturally. Declaring your dependence is the act of consciously checking and strengthening that connection. You are reminding yourself that your power, your wisdom, and your ability do not originate within your limited self, but flow from an infinite source. This prevents you from falling into the trap of self-reliance, which is the root of so much stress and anxiety. It is a humble posture that unlocks a supernatural level of peace and confidence. Let's translate this into a real-world scenario. You wake up, and after anchoring yourself in gratitude, the memory of a significant challenge you face today immediately floods your mind. It could be a difficult conversation you must have with a family member, a high-stakes presentation at work, or a medical appointment you are dreading. The natural human tendency is to immediately start worrying, to begin mentally rehearsing the problem, playing out worst-case scenarios. But instead, you implement this second step. You take a deep breath and you say aloud, God, I'm giving this situation entirely to you. I don't know how to handle this conversation, but I trust in your wisdom to guide my words. I depend on your strength, not my own, to carry me through. Feel the energetic shift that occurs in that moment. You have taken the spotlight of your focus off the problem and placed it squarely onto your all-powerful provider. You have ceased being the manager of the problem and have become the child of a loving father who is more than capable of handling it. The problem itself has not vanished, but the crushing weight of it has been lifted from your shoulders and placed into his. You have transformed the situation from my problem into our opportunity, an opportunity for you to witness God's wisdom and power flow through you. This single declaration disarms the anxiety and replaces it with a quiet, confident expectation of divine assistance. This practice is the antidote to control. So many of us live with a white-knuckled grip on our lives, believing that if we just think hard enough, plan meticulously enough, and work tirelessly enough, we can control all outcomes. This is a recipe for burnout and constant fear. Declaring your dependence is the act of intentionally unclenching your fist and opening your hand. It is a statement of trust that says, God, your plan is better than my plan. Your way is better than my way. It allows for divine intervention, for unexpected solutions, and for a peace that surpasses all human understanding, because your peace is no longer dependent on your ability to control the circumstances around you. So here is the direct application for this second step. Tonight, as you reflect, ask yourself this penetrating question. What is the single heaviest weight I am currently trying to carry all by myself? Identify it. Name it. Is it a financial worry? A relationship conflict? A fear about the future? An insecurity about your own abilities? Pinpoint the one burden that is stealing your peace and draining your energy. See it clearly in your mind, not to dwell on it, but to identify it as the specific thing you will hand over to God in the morning. This act of identification is critical. Vague prayers often lead to vague results, but when you can specifically name the burden, you can specifically surrender it. You are preparing yourself for a tangible transaction. You are getting ready to say, God, this specific weight, the one concerning my project at work, the one concerning my child's struggles, I am consciously and deliberately placing it in your hands right now. I will not pick it up again in 5 minutes. I am depending on you to handle it. This specificity makes the act of surrender real and potent. Tomorrow morning, immediately after you have anchored yourself in gratitude, you will perform this sacred transfer. You will name that burden and verbally declare your complete dependence on God to handle it. You will release your need to figure it all out and instead embrace your role, which is to trust and obey His guidance as it comes, moment by moment. What is the weight you have been carrying that was never yours to bear in the first place? Identify it now and prepare to experience the lightness and freedom that comes from truly and specifically letting it go into His infinitely capable hands. This brings us to the third and final step, the one that seals your intention and gives your entire day a divine direction. It is the step that elevates your actions from mere tasks to acts of worship. The central affirmation is this: finally, you must consecrate your day to God, intentionally asking that every action you take, every word you speak, serves His divine purpose, and not just your own personal ambitions. This is the ultimate act of alignment. After anchoring in gratitude and declaring your dependence, you now dedicate the output of your day, all of it, to a higher cause. You are essentially making yourself a vessel for God's work in the world. The spiritual foundation for this act of consecration is found in Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. This single verse contains a revolutionary concept that has the power to transform the most mundane aspects of your life into sacred moments. It teaches that the spiritual significance of an action is determined not by the action itself, but by the intention behind it. Driving your kids to school, answering emails, preparing a meal, or working on a spreadsheet can either be a secular chore or a holy offering. The choice is yours, and it is made through an act of conscious consecration. This practice infuses your day with a profound sense of meaning. It answers the silent question of the soul: why am I doing this? When your why becomes to glorify God or to serve His purpose, every task, no matter how small or repetitive, takes on an eternal significance. The frustration of being stuck in traffic can become an opportunity to practice patience as an act of worship. The challenge of dealing with a difficult colleague becomes a chance to demonstrate grace. Your work is no longer just a means to a paycheck. It becomes a platform for you to reflect the character of your Creator. This mindset shifts you from living a compartmentalized life where some parts are spiritual and others are not, to living an integrated life where everything can be an act of communion with the divine. Consecrating your purpose is the ultimate antidote to a life of drudgery and aimlessness. It provides a divine framework for all your activities. You are no longer just trying to get through the day. You're on a mission. Every item on your to-do list becomes a potential touch point with the holy, a chance to bring more light, grace, and love into the world in a tangible way. This reframes your entire perspective. You are not just a parent, an employee, a student. You are an ambassador of the divine, and your daily life is the territory where you carry out your sacred assignment. This brings a sense of dignity, purpose, and even excitement to the tasks you once considered boring or obligatory. Consider this practical example. You wake up, you anchor in gratitude, you declare your dependence, and then you look at the day's schedule on your calendar. You see a series of meetings, a list of errands and family commitments. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks, you perform the act of consecration. You pray a simple prayer: Lord, I dedicate this day to you. May my words in these meetings bring clarity and peace, not confusion. May my patience while running these errands be a testament to your grace. May the way I interact with my family tonight reflect your unconditional love. Use my hands, my voice, and my mind today for your purpose. Let my work be my worship. Notice what has happened. The agenda has not changed. The tasks remain the same, but the energy and intention behind them have been completely transformed. You are no longer simply executing a series of unrelated activities. You are weaving a tapestry of worship throughout your day. This conscious dedication provides you with an internal compass that helps you navigate the choices you will have to make. When faced with a decision, you can now ask a simple question: which choice would better serve the purpose I dedicated my day to? This brings a profound clarity and integrity to your actions, aligning your daily walk with your deepest spiritual convictions. This practice of consecration has a powerful effect on the quality of your work and interactions. When you believe you are working as for the Lord, you naturally bring a higher level of excellence, integrity, and care to what you do. You are no longer trying to impress a boss or simply meet a deadline. You are making an offering to God, and you desire that offering to be your absolute best. This leads to better results in your professional life, deeper connections in your personal relationships, and a greater sense of personal fulfillment, because you are operating from your highest self, aligned with your divine purpose. It is a spiritual principle with intensely practical and tangible benefits in every area of your life. And so we come to the final direct application. As you prepare for this transformative morning ritual, I want you to ask yourself this question: how would my perspective on my day change if I truly saw every single task as a specific opportunity to glorify God? Look at what you have planned for tomorrow. Think about the most mundane, repetitive, or even frustrating task on that list. It might be doing the dishes, commuting to work, or responding to a backlog of emails. Now consciously reframe that activity. How could you do the dishes in a way that glorifies God? Perhaps by doing them with a spirit of gratitude for the food that was on them. How could your commute glorify God? Perhaps by using that time for prayer or by showing grace to other drivers. How could answering emails become an act of worship? Perhaps by infusing each response with kindness, clarity, and a genuine desire to serve the recipient. This is not about becoming overly pious. It is about becoming intentionally present and purposeful. Your final task before sleep is to choose one activity from your schedule for tomorrow and decide with intention how you will transform it into an act of worship through the spirit in which you perform it. This proactive consecration prepares your heart and mind. It turns a simple task into a sacred appointment. By doing this, you are completing the trifecta of a victorious morning. You have anchored in gratitude for what you have been given, declared your dependence for the challenges you will face, and consecrated your purpose for the actions you will take. You are now fully prepared to walk into your day not as a survivor, but as a victorious child of God. Therefore, the path to a victorious day is paved not with frantic effort, but with sacred intention. It is won in the quiet moments after you awaken, through the single powerful act of delivering your first conscious thought to God. This is the master key, and it turns through three simple yet profound motions. First, you anchor your soul in gratitude, choosing to see the gift of the day before you acknowledge any of its demands. Then, you declare your total dependence upon Him, transferring the heavy burdens from your limited shoulders to His infinite strength. And finally, you consecrate your purpose, dedicating every mundane task and every significant action as a holy offering of worship, gratitude, dependence, and purpose. This is the divine sequence, the sacred trifecta that realigns your spirit and prepares you for a day of supernatural peace and effectiveness. It is your daily declaration of spiritual priorities. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, what your life will begin to feel like as this practice becomes your new nature. Picture yourself waking up not with a jolt of anxiety, but with a gentle, confident sense of peace. Imagine moving through your day with a quiet assurance, knowing that you are not alone, that a wisdom far greater than your own is guiding your steps and your words. The challenges will still come. The world will still be noisy, but you will have an unshakable inner sanctuary, a core of tranquility that circumstances cannot touch. You will find yourself more patient, more creative, more resilient. You will no longer be a leaf tossed about by the winds of external events, but a deeply rooted tree, drawing strength from an unseen divine source. This transformed future is not a distant dream. It is the natural consequence of this small, consistent act of alignment. A victorious day, as we must understand, is not a perfect day completely devoid of challenges or setbacks. That is a fantasy. A truly victorious day is one where in the midst of any and all challenges, you remain profoundly and consciously aware of the presence, the peace, and the unwavering strength of God flowing in and through you. It is a day where your internal state is governed by your connection to the divine, not by the conditions of the external world. You win the day not by avoiding the battle, but by knowing with absolute certainty who is fighting for you and alongside you. This is the victory that has overcome the world, your faith. And please hear this with a heart of grace. There will be mornings when you forget. There will be days when the old habit kicks in and your hand reaches for your phone before your heart has a chance to reach for God. When this happens, do not fall into the trap of guilt or self-condemnation. That is not the way of our Creator. His mercy is new every single morning. This practice is not about achieving a perfect performance record. It is about cultivating a deeper relationship. If you miss a morning, you have not failed. You have simply been given another opportunity to receive grace and to begin again the next day. The goal is progress, not perfection. It is a daily exercise in turning your heart toward home. The journey of transformation begins with a single conscious choice. You now possess the knowledge and the framework to fundamentally alter the quality of every day of your life. The power is not in merely knowing these 3 steps, but in the decision to implement them. The choice is to value your connection with God more than your connection to the digital world. It is the choice to seek His peace before you absorb the world's problems. This is where your true agency lies. In that sacred space between waking and acting, you have the power to choose your source, to set your intention, and to define the spiritual foundation upon which your entire day will be built. Choose wisely, for this single choice influences everything that follows. This practice will begin to change not just your days, but the very fabric of your being. You will start to carry the peace of your mornings with you into your afternoons and evenings. The gratitude you cultivate at dawn will soften your interactions at dusk. The dependence you declare in the quiet will give you courage in the chaos. The purpose you consecrate when you rise will bring fulfillment when you rest. This is how a life is transformed, not through a single grand event, but through the accumulation of small, sacred, and consistently repeated acts of faith and intention. You are not just building a better morning routine, you are rebuilding your life from the inside out, one victorious day at a time. As you embark on this journey, know that you are not alone. We are a community of individuals committed to seeking this deeper connection and living a life of authentic spiritual power. To strengthen this commitment, I invite you to share in the comments below. Of these 3 powerful steps, anchoring in gratitude, declaring your dependence, or consecrating your purpose, which one resonates most deeply with you right now? Which is the one you feel your soul most needs to practice this week? Your declaration is a powerful act of intention, and your story will undoubtedly serve as an encouragement to others on this same path. Let us walk this road together. Remember this as you go forward. The quality of your day is determined in its first conscious moment. The battle is for your first thought. Win that battle, and you are positioned to win the day. Anchor in gratitude, declare your dependence, consecrate your purpose. Do this, and you will transform your days from a battle of survival into a journey of profound and consistent victory. Your first thought is the rudder of your day. Hand it to God, and He will steer you toward peace.